What
Kris
up, though?
Crosby, yes, keyboardist, former keyboardist for
Collective Peace.
Collective Peace, and that's how I discovered you.
Yes.
I was like, damn, like super talented.
I appreciate it. I'm okay.
Nah, you ain't always just okay.
I'm okay.
If you've worked with Zoe and Carmen Rogers and Corona and Cool Beans, Miss
Yes.
Corona and Cool Beans, so
Yes,
you've worked with quite a few people.
And my boy Patience, shout out to Patience.
Patience, yes. Oh, you work with Patience?
Yes, I'm a keyboardist as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
I'm blessed. I'm fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, talent, recognized talent. Y'all tend to gravitate towards each other. I see.
Yes, definitely. Like one big family.
Yeah.
It's funny how I got to meet some of the people that I work with now. My good friend DJ L Boog used to do an open mic when I was managing them, and so a lot of these people I met during that time, and it's just everything just grew from there. So that's how I met Daryl Sex Appeal Johnson and met Patience actually through his wife at the time, Gwen Nation, who I had been friends with years before, and just everything just came full circle. So I have a very talented pool of close friends there, family. I can't even call them friends.
I definitely felt that. I felt that, especially with Collective Peace. I felt like there was a family there, and even though you guys, focus on your own, solo projects, y'all show up for one another, and that's nice to see.
We spent a lot of time together during those times, between rehearsals and shows and being on the road. I think we got to the point where we were just finishing each other's sentences and inside jokes and everything. Like very, very good times. A special group of people, and who all of them are still very near and dear to me. One of my former bandmates, I think you did a show on him. My brother Delaney, D-Love.
Yes,
our percussionist.
D-Love. We love D-Love.
One of the most amazing humans that I know. Dude is super smart, super talented, super humble.
Yes.
So to have a group of people like that, I'm very fortunate. I learned a lot from all of them in every aspect, whether it's musically or just life. We would have, someone was down and we pick each other up, and it was just great energy.
Yeah. I definitely felt that. Like, y'all really put on a show, a production, and it's like y'all had, like it seemed like everybody was a comedian, and like we was cracking up like when y'all got into character and like showing out
good times,
in such a good way.
Good times.
It definitely, I felt like I need to come back to this show again. There's nothing like a Collective Peace show. But how did you get into, like, when did you, how did y'all form the group, Collective Peace?
So, a lot of people don't know this, but technically Collective Peace was Sex Appeal and Idea. Okay. They are actually the founders of the group.
Okay.
I believe the band that we had was the second installment. So they were doing Dilla Day. And they had another collective of musicians, and they rocked the show, and they used to put a bunch of musicians together. And Proof's mother, may he rest in peace, may she rest in peace, was at the show, and they rocked it, and crowd was going crazy, and she was like, "What's y'all name?" And they were like, "Yo, we don't have a name." They were like, "We're just a collective of musicians." And she yelled out Collective Peace, and that's where the name comes from. So it's like, I feel like it's a great bit of Detroit history because of who she was. So a little bit later, I started managing Sex Appeal, and he came to me and was like, "I want to put a band together." And I was like, "All right, cool. Let me know who the players are. I'll make the call. We'll set up a meeting, and we'll take it from there." Little did I know he wanted me to be the keyboardist for the band. And at that time, I was playing a little bit. I would make some songs at home, but I wasn't in a band. I was focusing on managing, and I was like, "Oh, you want me to play?" So,
of course,
we put the band together, and we originally started playing a lot of Sex Appeal's original music. Just picking up gigs, doing that, and doing some cover songs. And then we were like, let's make an album. So that's how Introducing Collective Peace came to be. We all brought some songs to the table, and a lot of the songs happened like at sound checks or just kind of just grooving out at rehearsal. Sax called a lot of our musician friends to be on the album, Dwelle, John Dixon, Damon Warmack, and Tony Gordon. Just, I mean, the list goes on, and we were able to put what I feel is a dope compilation album, and still we're able to have our group songs on there. So it was very, very good time. So that's essentially how it started. And we'll go around playing our music and flipping cover songs. And, you know, I know a lot of people remember when we took Snoop Dogg's Sexual Seduction and we made it sexier.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was by mistake. You know, he wanted to do the cover. Of course, he didn't want to do the up-tempo one, and we just toyed around with it. We would do that to a lot of songs to make it our own, but still familiar for people in the crowd. So good times.
Because my favorite song is Let the Music Play, and I heard a bit of Stevie in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that was dope.
So I birthed it, Let the Music Play. I was at church one day, just kind of playing around after service. And I was like, oh, I like these chords. We were doing a party for Diddy. He had a Ciroc release at the Rooster Tail, I believe. And we were doing sound check. And
you just doing a party for Diddy.
We just doing a party for Diddy, yeah. And we were at sound check, and I started playing the chords. And everybody in the band was like, yo, what's that? I was like, oh, it's something I'm messing around with. So we started building at sound check. Then Sax started singing Let the Music Play. We didn't have any lyrics to the song. It just had the chorus. Let the music play. So we liked it so much, we actually played it that night. So we were like, oh, we got to get this to idea. She has to write to this. Gave it to her, and she listened, and she was like, And I knew at that moment, the wheels were turning. She was ready. She sat and wrote an incredible song, and we arranged it. So the part that you heard, when we do the live show, we would do that song last. Okay. So we wanted to always leave an impression on the crowd because that was the last song, whether we were opening up for somebody or it was one of our shows. So we're big Stevie Wonder fans, and we're also big Tribe Called Quest fans. Like, probably my favorite hip hop group. So at the end of the song, we actually would play Electric Relaxation. And then we would go from that into Stevie Wonder's Living for the City. And it became like a crowd favorite. Like they would hear it and go nuts. So
and the Detroit crowd, you know, we love soul music, and we're lovers of Motown. Yes. So to hear that, like Stevie Wonder, and you know that it only could be a big hit because we love our soul music. So
and that one of the benefits of being with that group of people, we all had similar music tastes, and
that makes a difference.
You know, we all love Dilla, we all love Stevie, we all love Dr. Dre, we all love Roy Ayers, and we would just take all of those components and try to put it into our live show. You know, one thing we always do, and even when we play with Zoe, at some point in the show, you're going to hear some J Dilla homage, just because he is just that important to the Detroit music scene. So it's just having fun.
Yeah,
just having fun.
Yeah, so that's what it's about. Is just I can see the passion and the love for it. For such a big hit. For it to just be like y'all just playing around and just playing music, that's just confirmation of the talent, the raw talent. And it's just an extension of Detroit as a whole. There's just so much talent here.
Tons.
Like, just to be in the studio and just listen in, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just not worthy of this experience,
And I've been fortunate to have been around it my entire life. My father is a keyboardist, so even before I even thought about playing, I was at studio sessions with him and going to gigs with him. And he's played for Commission, Harry Paris, Chapter 8 for a little bit. So I was always around it. I always would see the work ethic that would go into it and just the fun of it. And I tell people all the time, I couldn't run away from it if I tried. I was just born and bred into it. I come from a musical family, singers, musicians. My grandfather is a phenomenal singer. I have a younger sister that is out of this world.
Did she do Broadway?
Not Broadway, but she does stage.
She does stage.
She's making her way to Broadway. Calling it into existence.
We are. We claim. That's beautiful to have such wonderful examples. Did you take classes, or did you play by ear, or did your father show you, or did someone take you under their wing?
A little bit of all of that.
Okay.
Mainly, I play by ear.
Okay.
My very first instrument I played was trumpet. I was like in 3rd grade.
Okay.
Then put that down for some years and started playing drums. I was about 13, 14. And that's somewhat around the time where I started playing piano. So I took drum lessons for a little bit and was playing at church. And it was okay. And then I just always had this feeling of like I want to make my own music. So I actually learned how to sequence music before I knew how to play.
Oh, wow.
Like my dad had his keyboards at home, and I would go in there and I'm making these little beats and everything, and thinking of stuff. So he would show me how to do those things, and then he would try to teach me chords and so forth. So I never had formal training. Never learned how to read.
Just that raw talent.
No matter how hard he fought, never learned how to read. I just always wanted to make my own music. Even now, it's like cover songs are cool. It's great to learn other people's songs because they do birth new ideas for me. But I just really, really love creating music, and that's how I started. It's creating what I wanted to hear. And here I am.
And speaking of creations, do you have anything that you're working on right now?
Lightly working on my first solo project. Got a couple artists. I got some songs that they're gonna be writing to. I'm not in a rush. I want it to be very organic.
Yes.
My homeboy, at Rock Mad Studios, they call me up every now and then. I sit in on some sessions. The Every Music Crew, which is ran by Dean Beans. I do a lot of co-production for our artists. So I have a couple of songs on the Ideas album. I got a song on Peter Anthony's album. The forthcoming Dean Beans album, like about 5 or 6 songs co-produced.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just creating. That's the name of the game for me. And whoever wants to work on a joint, I'm available.
I mean, you're amazing. So we already know that ain't gonna be hard to get people to be part of this project. And it's nothing like it's like every week someone's coming out with another album, and they come out with another album 3 months, 6 months from now, and it's like just really nurture and really baby this work of art. And I feel like those albums last and have so much longevity versus like a hit record. Just something, trendy, but just something that you really put your heart into.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you're taking your time, and the audience, I'm pretty sure, I know I am, is patient. We're patiently waiting.
Plus, I work a full-time job, so.
I see here, Detroit hustles hard. Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah,
I was going to say Detroit hustle hard. Yeah.
So yeah, working a full-time job and being in a band and trying to create. So it's a lot of time that's consumed doing everything. But I'm determined it's going to drop. I can't tell when because I don't know when. Don't know how many songs. Don't know who's going to even be on it. But I do know that when it does happen, it's going to be the best of what I have, and hopefully everybody likes it.
I think we're going to love it. We're not going to just like it. We're going to love it.
I thank you.
Welcome. And so you just came back from touring with Zoe and Carmen Rogers, right? Was it over the summer, right?
Over the summer. Our last show, I believe we were in Toronto. This is music festival we did last year, so we were actually the headliners this year.
Oh, nice.
Great time. The Flow Assist was one of the artists that was there. I had a chance to meet her and kick it with her. Fun fact, Collective Peace played for Flow.
Yeah, I remember. Was it the Fox?
It was at the Fox. I didn't play though because I couldn't make rehearsals because of my work schedule. Had a great fill-in keyboardist Brandon Bland. And so the rest of the crew, of course, they knew her. And I was like, hi, I'm keyboardist for Collective Peace. And she's like, no, you're not.
Because I didn't see you at the Fox.
So I had a chance to chop it up. It was a great time. So we're actually due up to go back out on the road with Zoe. We're doing our December stretch. Atlanta, DC, Charlotte.
I hear that.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
And we're doing New Year's Eve in St. Louis. So I am definitely excited to get back out on the road with these guys and gal. Having some good times. So.
Yeah, I've experienced Zoe and Carmen Rogers at the Charles H. Wright. It was such an incredible
One of my favorite shows.
Oh my God, it was packed. Everyone got up and danced. It was like no one was stiff. Everyone was just enjoying themselves and just, how we Detroit do. We feel the music, we feel it. And if we're not feeling it, we not about to pretend like we do. We gonna let you know. And everyone in that crowd was just having such a good time. It felt like a family reunion,
It was great energy that
It
night.
was
Great energy.
perfect energy. Yeah, I had such a good time. I'm looking forward to Zoe and you all. Carmen Rogers coming back to Detroit again. I know that's like a given for Zoe to come to Detroit. He comes every year, so
you
it's
gotta
just
come
like
home.
when.
He has to come
It's
home.
just when, so I'm looking forward to it.
Last year was a blessing because we had a chance to do Shane Park as a collective for the first time. We opened for Kamasi Washington, and it was a great experience. The response we got was insane. It was just people walking up like, "Oh my God, you guys did such a great job!" And I was like, "We did."
Of course.
So it's a blessing, and we're looking forward to more shows and bigger shows. Maybe we'll headline Shane Park one day. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I definitely see that. I mean, and just a credible set of artists, and like everyone's doing their thing and just shining, and individually. And but when you guys were together, it was just magic. And I just love the family vibe to it. Because some people, you could tell like you don't really feel the energy in certain groups, but you really felt the energy with Collective Peace and how it extends to, you're working with Zoe and Carmen Rogers and Deep Beans, and it's just, and these are all Detroit artists. It's just I feel like it's just everyone look out for everyone in Detroit.
I credit it to being around genuine people, which these days it's very difficult to find. No matter what, I know each one of them, we have each other's backs. We can be strict when it's time to, and like, all right, I receive the criticism because we know it's out of love, and then just turn around and just make things great. Especially with Dean Beans, he and I have been working together for close to 4 years now, and some sessions, all the sessions are great, but then just sometimes we just butt heads and then we figure it out.
Yeah. That's real though.
So real good times, real good times. I'm blessed to have these people in my life, not lives. I have one life. This is the one I'm living. Just very fortunate to have these type of people who are just open and transparent, and it shows in performances and creating music and so forth.
Yes. So the audience wants to know, where can we find you on social media?
I am everywhere.
Everywhere.
On Facebook, I do have a fan page, A Musician's Mind, which is the same handle for Twitter and Instagram. Spelled a little bit different. There's a Z in there, so
you're trying to be special.
so it's A Musician with a Z and Mind. Anywhere on social media. Christopher J. Crosby on Facebook if you want to be my real friend. I always post shows and fun content, studio sessions and so forth.
Speaking of upcoming event.
Yes.
Yes, I'm super excited about this because this is for the singles, right?
Yes.
The Mingle and Networks.
So
Unattached Detroit, right?
Unattached Detroit.
Okay.
So I'm stepping away from the music for a little bit to bring you a little something. So last month I posted a Facebook post and asking people why I was dating so hard these days. And it ended up with like 400 comments, 300 likes, and people were just going in. So my good friend DJ L. Book was like, man, this would be great to have like a panel or event or something like that. Another good friend of mine I went to high school with, her name is Rashida Williams, she actually had done dating events. So she chimed in and was like, well, y'all know, like, this is my thing. We met one Sunday over sushi and decided to have a singles event. So it's going to be a mix and mingle on Thanksgiving Eve at Drive Social Club.
Right before you eat all that good food, you get to mingle, get a couple of numbers.
We got door prizes, we got icebreaker games and so forth. So it's going to be a good time. As of right now, I think we have about 70 tickets sold.
Ooh, y'all better go get y'all tickets.
Get your tickets.
It's coming, so I need to get my tickets.
So after y'all follow me on social media, go ahead and click the link for Eventbrite and come to the very first kickoff for Unattached. And we will have more events in the future.
I was going to ask, because we need more of that. I don't really see that in Detroit.
I actually have a vision. I want to do a singles conference that consists of everything that has to do with dating and being single and learning how to be single, mental health, everything.
Please say that again, because people do not know how to be single.
They don't.
We live our lives through relationships. It's like our identity is through our relationships, and you have to take a moment to like figure out what the problem was, how you were part of that problem, grow, learn from it, and then, you know, release that baggage because you don't want to carry it into the next relationship.
Exactly.
And in the meantime, like find a hobby, like enjoy like
Make
being
songs.
by yourself, you know, like if you can't enjoy your own company, then it's like, are you looking for other people to kind of fill that void? And then that's where the problem comes in at, because we are afraid to be by ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with being alone, but I think they mix alone with being lonely.
Yes.
And it's, you know.
So
I can go on and on about this.
Oh
but.
yeah, and these are conversations that I've had with many people throughout the years, and we just I saw an article the other day that Detroit is like one of the worst cities for singles, and I saw that as but I saw that as motivation. So hopefully it can apply. So we're excited. We're excited. Hopefully, you know, a couple new holiday booze come from
I know, because it's
event.
cuffing season. Folks ready to
right,
get
because it's snowing already. They gotta get the cuffing quick.
I know, right? So I'm super excited about it. We definitely need something like that in Detroit. I have a couple of questions that I ask all my guests.
Okay.
Just random questions.
Question time.
You have to be completely honest.
Transparency. I'm good at that.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Sweet potato pie or peach cobbler?
Woo! Man, that's a tough one. That's probably the toughest question I've heard in a long time. Let me analyze this. I'm gonna have to roll a peach cobbler.
All right.
I'm gonna have to roll it.
Now I make a mean peach cobbler. I'm gonna bring some in here for everyone. You're gonna have to try the peach
And
cobbler.
I would judge and rank it. And I would be truthful and let you know.
I know you're gonna let me know.
I'll let you know.
Very honest.
That crust ain't right. I'm gonna be like,
Well, this is my grandma's recipe, and so
Okay.
yeah, she's famous. She was famous for her peach cobbler. So
All right.
It's
on tape. It's on tape. You've heard it here first.
Cobbler. Okay. Second question. When was the last time you got fucked up?
Whew, it's been a while. I got to a point where I started appreciating liquor for the taste. Ironically, I'm in a drinking fraternity, so that's probably the last. When I got initiated, it was probably the last time where I was just completely messed up, because we have a process, and I almost went through an entire fifth of vodka.
Shit.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Well, I was trying to get in the crew.
I think that's,
yeah, so I haven't.
I'm not judging.
It's been, but this was years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I've been, dizzy, just falling over. I'm getting more mature. So I get a nice little double shot of something brown.
Just feel a little good.
Yeah,
you don't need to do all that extra
nice
stuff.
And then I'm good. So see, those are easy questions.
Okay, so what was the last music you played that wasn't yours though?
A few minutes ago.
What was the last music you listened to? I mean,
yesterday. I actually didn't listen to any music today. I was listening to an audiobook today, but I was listening to the artist Her. She just dropped.
She's incredible.
She dropped a new EP, and then she followed it up with like a 3-song EP of her like live performance.
Okay.
So those are she's pretty much the last artist that I've listened to this week.
Okay, good choice.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's like, I don't like to compare, but like she like Prince, like she played all types of
multiple instruments.
I'm just what? Who that's like? I didn't know.
And she never misses.
I know.
Everything I've heard from her has been a complete home run. I love the complete album. I love the EPs. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. So she's heavy in my rotation.
Yeah, she's amazing. Okay, so are you a submissive or dominant?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay, you're gonna have to break this down now. Just a little bit.
I pride myself in being able to pay attention to what's going on and then react from there. Okay. So if something calls for me to be aggressive, then I'll be aggressive. If I need to fall back and observe and take orders, no matter what it may be, comfortable doing that as well.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm a versatile Pisces.
Okay, do you like to cuddle or hug? Which one is your favorite?
I'm a cuddler.
I can see that. Y'all Pisces, y'all love touch.
Yeah, on the couch watching Netflix. It's like,
Netflix and chill.
Which is strange because, like,
do you actually cuddle? Like, do you cuddle from like the beginning of the movie all the way to the end?
Yes.
Like, actually
I can
cuddle?
do a full session of
Oh
cuddle.
my god!
And be okay. Yeah.
You're such a gentleman.
Which is weird because, like, I get hot quickly. Not like hot.
Hot, like hot or hot?
Like sweating hot.
Okay.
So, like, I'll be sitting there sweating like, for this brother cuddle, I must keep going. So, yeah, like, my body heat is crazy. Like, today is 30 degrees, and this is all I wore on the way here. Because, like, I get in the car and start sweating if the heat's so much high. So.
Because I'm anemic, I get cold. You can't tell because I'm always showing leg, but it's like I sacrifice my comfort
sacrifice for the sexy.
For the fashion, for the sexy. But, so you are a cuddler. Okay, and you're a little bit of both. A little bit of both, submissive and dominant. So you're just pretty versatile then. Yeah. Y'all hear that?
Sums up my life. That pretty much sums up my life. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate it.
Have to come back.
I will definitely be back.
Okay, and y'all might see me at the at his event on the 21st. Unattached Detroit. Yes. So if y'all want to holler at a sister,
y'all better shoot y'all shot. Y'all better
shoot the shot, damn it.
Can't make it if you don't shoot it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
You have to come back, okay?
I'll be back whenever. Just call me.
All right. Thank you so much, okay? Y'all make sure y'all tune in every Wednesdays, 9 o'clock. JahZara After Dark. All right.
Peace.